How good is the RTX 5080 in maxing out games at 4K resolution? So in this video, I'm going to be testing 10 different games. Most of them are like really intensive. We're testing out how the games will perform at 4K maxed out settings only, right? And see if this 16GB card is good enough for playing games in 2026 with the maxed out settings. And I'll be going through two different criteria in this video. First, I'll be testing out the games on 4K, native settings maxed out, DLAA, or just, no upscaling whatsoever, maybe TAA or whatever the game has. And if you are getting a playable FPS, anywhere from 40 to 60 FPS on these single player games, then I'll consider it a pass. So that means it can be played and enjoyed to quite a certain level on those settings. But if you're not able to get those FPS on those settings, then that means it's a failure and it's not capable of running that game on maxed out settings. So most games in this list is going to have path tracing and some don't. So let's see how much it affects the gameplay and how much it doesn't, and see the raw performance of this GPU in 2026. And the other section is I will be also providing another recommended settings from my side, showing you the best way to get better FPS, more than 60 of course, with the minimal latency using upscaling and also frame gen, because those are the technology that we have on the NVIDIA card. So I'll be utilizing those to get the best results and the best looking visuals. I mean, it's going to be the best looking visuals since we are maxing the games out. So yeah, it's just a little bit of tweaking with the help of some enhancers like the frame gen and DLSS to get the best case scenario out of everything. So let's jump into the games and see how the 5080 can handle these at 4K. So before we jump in, I'm going to show you the system specs right here with the RTX 5080 ASUS Tuf version of the GPU, 16GB, paired with the 9000X 3D and 64GB of DDR5 memory running at 6000 MHz. And the latest NVIDIA driver, 96.36. And nothing is overclocked. We're just going to keep it on base speeds for everything. And that's how it is. Now let's jump into it. And first game is going to be Cyberpunk. I got two. And you can see 4K. I'm going to go to graphics settings. You can see NVIDIA DLAA, and that's the best one we got, and see how the performance is. All right, so we are on a ray tracing overdrive mode and no frame generation for now. So, because, first time we're testing out the raw performance. You can see everything is maxed out, path tracing, and even psycho screen space reflections. So we are totally maxed out on 4K right here with no frame generation or upscaling. And that will get us to 2 FPS. There's no way. There's definitely something wrong. I'm gonna come back. Okay, now we're back. We're getting 19 FPS, which is what I expected, because I've tested this game multiple times on this GPU on maxed out on 4K, so I was pretty sure how it's gonna turn out, and getting around 19 to 20 FPS, which is again really terrible. And again, like I said in the beginning, should be at least 40 to 60 FPS to consider this playable and get a pass from me, especially these single player games. For multiplayer games, it's going to be a different story, but single player, yeah, this is definitely not playable for a first person shooter game, getting barely 20 FPS, which is terrible. So instead of going DLAA, you can try turning it off completely, no upscalers, and see how that's going to be. And again, I might need another restart to apply the settings, because right now it's not running properly. And you can see the VRAM is filling out to the system memory as well. So I'm going to go back and re-enter. Okay, and without any upscalers, we're getting barely 10 FPS. Okay, that's even worse than 20. The DLAA, I don't know what's going on. Wow. And look at the latency, 600. Okay, this is interesting. I thought we were going to get better FPS compared to DLAA, because it's gonna reduce the tax on the GPU, but instead we're going about 16 GB right here. That's absolutely insane. So there you have it. That's Cyberpunk. Definitely not playable. It's a thumbs down, unfortunately, because with path tracing it's gonna be really taxing. You need at least 24 GB of VRAM to make this work properly, right? Yeah, it is absolutely terrible. Okay, so to have the best experience on this game with the 5080, when you enable everything to the max with path tracing, this is going to be my recommended settings. It's going to be DLSS performance mode on transformer, so that you get the best visual clarity, and enable frame generation with 2x. 2x is all you need. You don't need to go further than this. But if you want high refresh rate experience, then yeah, maybe go to 3x or 4x, but For me personally, this is more than enough, perfect for me, and that's all you gotta do. You get the best visuals and the best latency with 48 to 50 milliseconds. Totally playable on a keyboard and mouse as well, not floaty at all. And 87 FPS, almost 90, even crossing 90, especially in Dogtown, is the most intensive area in the entire game. So there you have it. That's gonna be my recommended settings for Cyberpunk to max it out on the 5080 right here. Do this and you should be totally fine. Alright, now let's move on to the next game. Alright, next up we got one of the most intensive games again, Alan Wake 2. And you can see maxed out on DLSS, no frame gen for now. And everything is maxed out ultra. And ray tracing is set to path tracing on ultra settings. Path tracing, direct lighting, ultra. And everything is maxed out pretty much. So let's see, 15 FPS. And since this is an Epic Games exclusive, we don't have the Steam overlay to see how many fake frames we generate while we activate frame gen. But yeah, you can see the latency, it's at 230 milliseconds, just terrible. Getting 17 FPS, even more intensive than Cyberpunk on these settings. But interestingly, we are only using 14.4 GB of VRAM compared to Cyberpunk, which was maxing it out, but still was able to get more FPS than this. But yeah, that's how things are on Alan Wake 2. It's a really intensive game, especially in the first starting area with a lot of vegetation. But yeah, pretty terrible. Thumbs down for now. But let's see. And there's no other option to turn off any DLA. It's like either DLA or FSR2, no other option. There's this legacy mode, which gives you a slight improvement, but I don't think it's gonna matter at all. So with that enabled, yeah, pretty much the same. 17 to 18 FPS, I don't think it's worth it. But maybe 20 FPS, you get additional 2 or 3 more FPS at the best. So yeah, not worth it whatsoever. I'm gonna turn that off. So unfortunately, Alan Wake 2, thumbs down. You cannot max it out and expect it to run the game with the raw power alone. You definitely need some enhancements. So we're gonna go to performance mode again, and then again use 2x frame gen. And there you have it. You can now get 80 FPS. The latency is slightly higher than Cyberpunk because we are probably like upscaled from 40 something FPS. With 2x frame gen, you get around 80 FPS, which is still pretty good. And I don't see any artifacting or anything. And right now the latency is jumping up and down too. So yeah, it's not perfect, but again, much more playable. If you're playing on a controller, it's going to be perfect. You're not going to feel anything. But on keyboard and mouse, it's slightly floaty, I'm not going to lie, but totally playable without losing a lot of detail or anything. Still super responsive for my keyboard and mouse. And now you're using only 12.5 GB of VRAM instead of 15, well, almost 15. Again, yeah, same kind of results. Performance mode and 2x frame gen. Seems to be the perfect spot so far in these two really intensive games. So that's Alan Wake 2. Let's move on to the next game. Now let's move on to a really recent title, Pragmata. I've already tested this game out a couple of weeks ago on the 5080 with everything maxed out. Can check this out over here. But let's see the performance on the 5080. So DLSS, everything is maxed out. You can see path tracing is enabled and no frame gen, and everything else is pretty much at the max. I'm testing out this area because it seems to be the most intensive scenario that I've come across in the game so far with this boss fight. And again, pretty similar situation like Cyberpunk and Alan Wake with path tracing on. Seems to be the case. You can only get around 15 to 20 FPS on native settings. And this one also maxes out the GPU. You can see 16 GB. And yeah, during the fight scene, you can get barely 18 to 20 FPS, like I thought, with 94 milliseconds latency, which is pretty terrible, But it is somewhat kind of, I don't know, it's kind of responsive and playable. But yeah, on a 5080, this is terrible. Not good. So DLSS, that's the only way to play it. There's no other way to turn it off. I mean, we can turn it off, but we gotta go back to the main menu. But again, it's not gonna affect it that much. So what I'm gonna suggest is, I mean, it's gonna be a thumbs down, obviously. You're only getting 20 FPS, just like we saw. So again, I'm gonna put it to performance mode and use 2x DLSS frame gen. And now you can see we are getting 98 to 100 FPS. So same kind of scenario, like we saw on Cyberpunk, and also freaking Alan Wake. And this is like super smooth and playable as well. So really amazing game, really well optimized game as well. So that's why we were able to do this. Again, pretty similar scenarios. The same settings will get you close to 100 FPS. The best latency, 46 millisecond latency, is totally playable even on a keyboard and mouse. It's really responsive and no artifacting, nothing. The picture quality looks super crisp and clear, so no complaints whatsoever. And you can see the average FPS is 95, upscale from 48 to almost 50 FPS, totally playable. And again, that's going to be my sweet spot for Pragmata. Amazing game. But a thumbs down since we cannot max it out and expect a great FPS on native settings. Alright, now we are in another recent game, Crimson Desert. And this is the latest update, 1.0.5. I've never tested before. So apparently they have the 6x frame gen officially active in the game now. I did test the 6x frame gen feature without it being official like a few weeks ago, using some mods and other stuff. So if you guys want to check that video out, it's going to be up here. It's pretty interesting, you know. So yeah, I already know how it feels. I'm not going to test it out right now. I'll probably do another separate video on that later. But yeah, for this one, I'm going to keep it to TLAA for now. Actually, let's start off without any upscale resolution. And DLSS 4.5 and no frame gen. I'm going to keep it off for now. Rear reconstruction turned on. And okay, so if I enable this, I think it's automatic. Yeah, I definitely need that to have this on. Okay, so that strikes out one of our options. And everything is maxed out. Cinematic. Should be interesting. And we are in here now. You can see everything maxed out, 20 FPS. Similar scenario. I forgot the running mechanics is double tapping A on the controller. So yeah, I don't think anything has changed from what I remember from the last time I played the game. 20 FPS with the rear reconstruction and everything maxed out on max settings. 100 milliseconds latency. It's gonna be, not as bad as I thought it was gonna be on keyboard and mouse. Pretty responsive, but yeah, not playable. If it was at least 40 FPS, could have given it a pass, but fortunately not. Thumbs down on Crimson Desert, but gonna have to go to DLSS performance. And again, this is DLSS 4.5, but since we are having rear reconstruction turned on, it's gonna automatically stick to DLSS 4 because NVIDIA doesn't support it on 4.5 version yet. Okay, so keep it on performance. So let's just try 4.5L because that's even better than the regular 4.5. Since I'm gonna go performance mode, I'm gonna have 2x frame gen like we usually do. So now we have dynamic frame gen as well. So you can actually enable that as well, you know, 2x frame gen. And that will get you to 150 FPS. And I don't know if dynamic frame gen is gonna enable the frame gen all the way to 6x. Because that's what it feels like. Because there's no other way you can get 150 FPS. Because the last time I checked, we had to use NVIDIA app overlay to manually override it. It wasn't available in the game, but now we can do that. Makes it way more playable. So I'd say you can just do this in performance mode and get 34 milliseconds latency. This is totally playable. You don't even have to just force it to 2x frame gen. Because you know, this is extremely smooth. I don't see any artifacting or anything. Yeah guys, look at that. I'm only using 10 gigabytes of VRAM on 4K. Yes, it's upscale from 1080p, but it looks really sharp with everything cranked out. And 156 FPS is more than enough. It's upscale from 79, 80 FPS as well. So just enable dynamic frame gen. So if you don't want dynamic frame gen, you can still get amazing FPS with just 2x frame gen. Gives you to 160. Wow, really? Well, never mind then. You can just still play the game like this. So dynamic frame gen or 2x frame gen, you're gonna get pretty much the same FPS right here on performance mode with 34 milliseconds latency. Actually makes me wanna try out quality mode. You know what? Keep it on quality mode. You don't even have to go all the way around to performance because even quality mode gets you 120 FPS. So that's like more than enough. We're still getting 60 FPS base speeds. I mean base frames. Yeah, you don't need to go to performance mode, guys. Wow, I don't think being this smooth last time I opened the game. Okay, actually pretty nice, guys. So you either use this 2x frame gen or just go. What, they can do wrestling moves too? Okay. See, even with fighting going on, it is pretty playable, guys. There it is, super smooth with 2x frame gen and DLSS quality. Still only using 10 GB of VRAM, and game looks absolutely gorgeous on these settings, man. So unfortunately a thumbs down, but it is totally playable with a little bit of upscaling and the minimum frame gen technology, which is 2x. If you want dynamic, turn that on. Pretty solid. Okay, another recent title, Death Stranding 2, which is a really well optimized game. DLSS and native anti-aliasing, so DLAA. Now frame gen, and go here, and I just noticed that we have an ambient occlusion ray tracing option, which was not there in the previous patches or when the game came out. So this is pretty recent. This came out in the recent update, because I've never seen this before. So we got another ray tracing option, because before this was the only ray tracing option available in the game, but now we have this as well. It's good, you know. It makes the game looks even better, I suppose. So I think it's maxed out on very high with ray tracing as well. So all right, in the jungle it's pretty intensive, and now we can get 35 FPS. Wow, look at that. And it is running really well, 33 FPS. Actually not that bad. We're getting 0 latencies because we have reflex turned off. Now let me just go ahead and turn that on so that you guys get an idea how much of a latency we can have with this. And get you to 57 milliseconds. Now we lost about 2 FPS because turning it on. It does impact the performance a little bit, but it's not bad at all. 33 FPS. I'd say if you lock it to 30 FPS, this is going to be a playable experience, so I can maybe give it a thumbs up, because on the other games we never saw it going past about 20 FPS on these maxed out settings, right? So this is the only game that we're like getting around 39, see even 40 FPS over here. So I'd say if you lock the FPS to 30, if you're on a big TV screen and you're sitting back relaxing on your couch or something, you can consider this playable, you know. But yeah, this is actually kind of playable, and the FPS is going to stay there pretty much. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up. This might be the first thumbs up that I'm going to give out in this video, because it is playable with double quads. Okay. Oh shit. 52 milliseconds is actually not bad at all. But we know this is not the best way to play. Which is why I'm gonna go to DLSS quality. And then I'm gonna enable. See, now we can go all the way up to 6x because that is also supported now. I'm not gonna do that. 2x should be more than enough. 2x you can get 120 FPS with 40 milliseconds. So this game and Crimson Desert, like totally playable with just bumping it down to quality mode instead of going performance mode like you had to go in Alan Wake and Cyberpunk. And these games, in my opinion, still looks really, really good, especially in this jungle area, you know. So using only around 14 GB of VRAM, man, the CPU temperature is at 80 degrees Celsius, which is kind of crazy because the room temperature right now is around 30 degrees Celsius as well. So that's why it's like going up a little bit, but I wouldn't mind that at all. Yeah, but 52 FPS base upscale to 100 FPS, more than enough for a game like this. Even 60 locked is totally playable because it barely stutters from what I've experienced on the 5080 before. And I believe they made it even more smoother after the updates. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up. And with these settings, absolutely enjoyable. So that's Death Stranding 2. Alright, next up we got Resident Evil Requiem. Look, I would have tested Raccoon City if I actually made it that far into the game. I know most people finished this game by now already. You know, I had to test out a lot of GPUs on this thing. And afterwards, I didn't get time to play it. A lot more new games came out. I got to test those, like Crimson Desert, Pragmata, and, you know. So I just left it there. So this is the introduction scene with the rain, you know. So that seems to be the most intensive situation I could test the game on. So exactly where we are. You can see 4K, path tracing enabled. Everything is maxed out. And DLSS, and everything is maxed out. Okay, no frame generation for now, and no upscaling as well. So let's see. Again, this is another really well optimized game by Capcom. It's like Pragmata, RE engine doing its thing for single player linear based games. 20 FPS, pretty much like Pragmata. Similar kind of performance right here with 87 milliseconds latency, and I'm playing on keyboard and mouse. So yeah, pretty much maxed out here. I don't have to show you guys anything else. And yeah, not playable. So thumbs down, obviously. And now it's time to go to performance mode. This is going to be the best experience with 2x frame gen. And there you have it. Again, making it up to 94, close to 100 FPS without any issues whatsoever. You can see the picture quality looks really sharp, even though it's upscaled from 1080p again. You can see the base FPS is from 48, 50 FPS all the way to 96. And again, this is a really intensive scene from the game, and it's going to be way better once you're inside the facility. But I don't know how it's going to be on Raccoon City, just like towards the end game, Leon, and a lot of fighting and stuff going on, because I've seen the videos, because I've never made it that far. Okay, so if it's this good over here, I'm expecting it's going to be similar. Maybe make it to Raccoon City. Yeah, there you have it. Same thing, put it to DLSS performance, 2x frame gen, you're set to go. If you want more FPS, just put it on 4x frame gen. 48 millisecond latency is perfectly playable, super responsive. And there you have it. That's Resident Evil Requiem, super playable. Let's move on to the next game. All right, now we are on a different game, Unreal Engine 5 game, Borderlands 4, one of the worst optimized game that came out last year. And we're gonna be maxing it out. You can see 4K, badass settings, which is the max settings that you can do. And I'm gonna go DLSS full resolution, which is DLSS, engine off, and that's it. You can see right here, everything is maxed out except motion blur, which is pretty terrible if you enable that. So that's it. Badass settings. I haven't played this game in a long time. And what? 42 FPS? Yeah, are you kidding me right now? This is badass settings. I know frame gen or nothing. This is still full resolution. DLSS, I'm getting 45 FPS. Did they update the game so much that now it's actually playable on a 5080? Because when I tested this game out on the day one, I was getting barely 20 FPS on these settings, from what I remember. Wait, so that means it's actually playable now on almost 40 FPS. But again, I would not consider this playable, since this game is an FPS shooting game, and you need like really low latency inputs to get the best out of it. Now you need like snappy movements. So otherwise it's going to be hard to aim and kill these things. And you can see we are like at almost 100 milliseconds, barely getting 40 FPS. But this is, wow, they actually improved the game's performance over like last few months, I believe. Okay, I was not expecting that. But again, we're not getting 40 plus FPS. I mean, for this game, I think you need at least 60 FPS to make it playable. We don't get that, so it's going to be a thumbs down, unfortunately. But pretty happy that the performance has increased significantly from the last time I checked it. So that's good. I gotta give credit for 2K Games for making that possible. So I'm gonna go to performance mode, apply that. I don't think I need to enable frame gen. It might be playable without it. Well, look at that, 75 FPS. Wow, I did not think this was gonna be possible on badass settings. Now frame gen, you can actually play Borderlands 4 now with the 5080 on DLSS performance mode. And it looks pretty good as well. And now the latency is 71, 42 milliseconds, which is way better. Using about 14 GB of VRAM. And it's now way more playable. Okay. Oh my god, where did I get hit from? This thing? Yeah, you guys can see, man. 78 FPS. Getting pretty solid. Wow. Out of all the games I tested so far, this was the last game that I expected that was gonna run without frame gen. That too on badass settings. Are you kidding me? I mean, it does drop down below 70 here and there, but man, this is totally playable in my books. For me, I would not turn it down, but if you want that additional push, then just enable FrameGen 2x, and that's going to take you all the way to 126. It's pretty much similar kind of latency. So, wow, this is amazing, guys. I did not expect to play Borderlands like this today when I opened and I started to record the video. Wow. So there it is. That's Borderlands 4. I'm almost dead, but doesn't matter. We're getting more than 120 FPS with the performance mode, badass settings, 2x FrameGen. Not a thumbs up though. It's still thumbs down because we're not getting more than 60 FPS for a game like this on native settings. But man, what a step up. So that's Borderlands 4. Pretty playable on these settings. Next up, we got Kingdom Come Deliverance, one of the best optimized games from CryEngine. Yeah, this thing was made using the same engine that was used in Crysis, if you guys didn't know. And one of the best looking engines as well. And this game ran really well back when I tested, so I think it's going to be the same. You can see 4K experimental, which is the maximum you can go. And transformer model, DLSS and native anti-aliasing, so DLAA. And if you go to advanced, you can see everything is experimental, so totally maxed out. And you can see it's saying long time no see because I haven't played this game in a long time. And you can see almost getting 60 FPS. And what's wrong with the shadow? Why is what the hell is that? It's kind of funny. Yeah, I don't care. Look at this game. This game just looks so beautiful. And it's so smooth as well. You know? But yeah, 60 FPS without even doing anything. So I say this is thumbs up, easy thumbs up. And for a game like this, you don't need a lot of FPS anyways. It's a melee type fighting game, most of it. So totally playable, 57 FPS, and it looks absolutely amazing. The latency meter doesn't work because we don't have NVIDIA Reflex turned on. I don't think there's an option for that either. So, but I'd say the safest option is gonna be, instead of native, just to use quality mode, and that takes you all the way to 78 to 84 FPS. Now it's like never gonna go below 60 now. And again, I have no idea how it's gonna be when you go later into the game, but while we're here, this is pretty nice. 82 FPS, you probably won't have any issues whatsoever. And the game is gonna look amazing as well. So there it is. That's Kingdom Come Deliverance. Totally playable and a thumbs up. Solid game. Alright, next up we got another Unreal Engine 5 title, Black Myth Wukong. A real high intensive game. And this thing doesn't have path tracing, but even with its ray tracing, it's pretty intensive. So you can see we're on maxed out settings. I'm on 4K resolution right here. The graphics, 100% resolution scaling, so that means it's DLAA. No FrameGen for now. And full ray tracing turned on with a very high ray tracing level. And cinematic settings. Getting 20 FPS, or pretty much the same. It is like a path tracing effect on the other games. And wow, this game just looks so gorgeous too, right? All the lighting, all the gold rays hitting, through the leaves and stuff. It's a really pretty game. And yes, 18 to 19 FPS. So I'm assuming it has path tracing when you enable everything on the ray tracing settings, because there's no other explanation to why it is like this. And there are no reflective surfaces like we have in Cyberpunk or freaking Resident Evil Requiem, because this is the jungle. Maybe path tracing is there, I don't know. Because you definitely need something, reflective or like shining light or something like that to actually see it in full effect. But look at this. You can see the reflection. They look really pretty. Yeah, 19 FPS. Not good. We are only using about 14 GB of VRAM, but still not getting more FPS. So it's going to be a thumbs down, like we just saw. So what I'll say is go to graphic settings and then put the super resolution to 60% instead of 100%. So that will make it to balance mode, and then have 2x FrameGen, because 2x FrameGen is all you actually need on the 5080 to make things smoother. And that's going to take you all the way to 82 FPS. You don't even have to go all the way down to performance mode like you saw in the other ones. And you can play with 70 to 80 FPS like really well. There are these small little stutters here and there, but I don't think that's I think that's an Unreal Engine 5 issue, not the GPU's issue or anything. So yeah, it's really playable on these settings. Like you can see, I'm gonna go in and fight these guys over here and see if that's gonna make a difference. And yes, I'll also be trying the Shadow Clone Jutsu Oh, where are the guys over here? I killed them. Oh, I already killed them. They didn't respawn. That's a shame, but I'm just gonna use it. Okay, so it didn't do any major stutters or anything else. Usually if I use an ability, it just makes it, you know. And if I do this, yeah, there's that big stutter right there. That just happens. I don't know what they're beating up over there though. Just beating up a rock. It's crazy, but yeah, you guys can see it's really playable on these settings. So just keep it to balance mode and use 2x frame gen. And again, if you want more FPS, you can just crank up the frame gen to 4x. It's up to you, but for me, so this is comfortable, really playable for my taste. So that's Black Myth Wukong. All right, now finally for the 10th game, we have a classic, Red Dead Redemption 2. You know, this is an old game, but it's still one of the best looking games out there. In terms of the visuals, the storytelling and everything, you know, it's a whole package. And I had to test it. I would have tested GTA 5, but this is way better looking in my opinion compared to that game, because this game came out in 2018 and GTA 5, even with the remastered, you know, some of the textures and all that, still like the 2015 era. So, yeah, you can see it's a 4K. Everything is maxed out. Okay, everything. Ultra settings, quality is set to maxed. Ultra, everything. No DLSS for now. I'm just gonna keep it off. And you can see MSA is 8x. Some of these settings I know it's not necessary to be turned on for the best experience, but water quality is not full. There it is. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Everything is maxed out. MSA reflections. Do I need that? There you go. That's also at 8x. And it's only using about 10 GB of VRAM. So we got plenty of VRAM left. Not an issue whatsoever. And that takes us to 46 FPS? 44 FPS, wow. Red Dead can actually be played on the 5080 and get 50 FPS pretty much. That's actually insane. Can I take this as a W? Can I pass this on? Because this game is really well optimized. We're able to max out everything and get close to 50 FPS on 4K. I'm pretty sure you can just turn off the MSA and all of that stuff and get 60 FPS easily. But this is with everything maxed out, which is totally unnecessary, I know. I'm gonna still take this as a W and give it a thumbs up. Because I said 40 FPS to 60 FPS, I'm gonna keep it give it a pass. This game, even with 40 FPS, is really playable. I know the latency is 90 milliseconds, but it is pretty responsive for what it is. And yeah, I'm not mad about it at all. It's really playable, especially in this village area right here. Okay, I was not expecting that. So, if you're getting that much just like that, then it's gonna be easy. And just keep it to quality mode and call it a day. Yeah, easy. And with DLSS quality, you can get 103 FPS. Okay, wow. It's like a 2x performance jump just by enabling DLSS. There you have it. Red Dead Redemption, man. Absolutely playable. Now look at the latency is 33. Completely acceptable. And it just runs really well. 100 FPS, what more do you need? So there you have it. You don't even need frame generation or any of that stuff. And the game still looks super sharp and amazing. So that's a Red Dead Redemption. Super playable. So yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna add this one little bonus game in the mix too. This is Far Far West. It just came out like a couple days ago, and it's a lot of fun. I've been enjoying this game so far. So if you're into like co-op shooting games, this is definitely one to pick up. It was just $15 USD. So just pick it up, man. It's on sale and it's been blowing up. So it's a ton of fun. I feel like games like Deep Rock Galactic or something like that, where you just go in, do a lot of stuff, and then extract. And this is a game for you. This is totally fun. The gameplay is amazing and all of that. So give it a try. Look at this 4K resolution, render quality set to 100%. No VSync, unlimited FPS, field of view is maxed out because I like wider field of view. No motion blur, camera dirt, yes. Now just add some aesthetics to the vibe of the game. And DLSS set to TAA for now. no frame gen, and everything is set to very high. So that's it. It's like the hub area that we have in the game, and you can get 88 FPS. You don't even have to turn down the settings. It's gonna be totally playable, guys. And look at that. The game still looks really beautiful. Now, and this game is made by 8 people. So, wow. Pretty good game for, you know, a small team. And I'm just gonna go into one of the missions and I'll show you what it is. And we are in one of the missions. And yeah, it's a pretty like open area type of game. You get a map and all these quests are here. Now it takes quite a while to actually you know, get everything and extract, but it's a ton of fun with a friend or two, you know. Even solo is pretty fun. You get this horse and you can just zoom around everywhere, and even the fight scenes, you can see the gunplay is really fun. You got these magic spells, which is also pretty fun. So you can see, man, you don't need any upscaling or anything. You can just play the game like this, totally playable with 52 milliseconds, you know. So if I do this, I'm gonna teleport somewhere else. Boop. Yeah, it's a really fun game, guys. Just give it a shot, and it runs amazingly well as well on 4K maxed out on the 5080. So yeah, this is Far Far West. I think that should be it as a final game, right? And that's it. And that's all I had to show you guys. And Far Far West also get a thumbs up because it just runs flawlessly on maxed out setting. And it's a really fun game. So that's it, guys. That's 11 games test on the RTX 5080 maxed out settings. And yes, majority of the games fail to run it on maxed out settings on 4K, but it is to be expected. And I've seen people say, oh, the 5080 is only a 1440p card at best. No, this video clearly shows you it's not. You can easily max out games at 4K, provided that you just need some enhancements using DLSS and frame gen, and then you can play any game that you want on maxed out settings and have a really completely smooth experience with minimal latency. And that's exactly why I have the latency meter on, so that what I'm saying is not bullshit and is valid, okay? You guys saw for yourself how smooth it is. So yeah, just max out games on the 5080. It's gonna be running really well, no issues whatsoever. You're gonna have a really fun time. Just need to enable frame gen and some upscaling and you're good to go. And in some easygoing games like this, like Far Far West, you're gonna have no problem at all playing it on native DLA settings or TA or whatever the native settings are. And that's about it, guys. Hope you guys find this video helpful. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more benchmarks, and let me know what you think about this in the comment section. And please, if you're paying $2,000 on a GPU, please make sure you have a 4K monitor to go along with it, because you're missing out on the best thing, which is playing games on 4K. It's a totally different experience. From 1440p to 4K, once you go 4K, you're not going back, because that's how good it is. Even when upscaling from 1080p, it looks really good on a 4K monitor. Yeah, guys, that's a 5080 benchmark, 4K maxed out. Hope you guys are having a great time wherever you are. I'll catch you guys in the next one. So take it easy and peace out.